This is the Work at Home Heroes podcast. Your host, Caitlin Pyle, digs deep with people from all over the world who make money from home. Get ready to wake up to a world of possibility for freedom, flexibility, and a life you'll love.
Well, hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Work at Home Heroes podcast. I'm here with Lisa Évoluer. It's a beautiful last name, and we have it in the episode for you if you want to know how to spell it. At just the age of 19, she started her own business and immigrated to Malta at the age of 21. And she started her first online business doing photo retouching there. And after only a couple months, she had already been working with Dior, Mercedes, and Glamour. She's got a real passion to help motivate others. And she helps other ambitious photographers run successful businesses. She's craving more. And so she became a life coach. Welcome to the show, Lisa.
Hi, Caitlin. Thank you very much for having me. I really look forward to our interview right now.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well. And you might notice that Lisa has a bit of an accent, and we just connected before we started recording. And she was born in Koblenz, Germany, where ironically, I spent a year during college after learning German for about 12 years. I lived there for a year, and I lived in the same place that Lisa was born in. So we discovered that right before we started recording. And so small world after all, we had a little chat. I got to prove to myself that I could still speak German after 10 years of not being in Germany. So that was very edifying for me. We're really excited to have you on the show, Lisa. So tell us a little bit more about yourself. You have a lot of stuff that's been going on with you. So let's get into it.
Yeah, definitely. There has been a lot of stuff happening. It was a long journey until I arrived there where I am now. And I think one of the biggest impacts was actually really the immigrating to Malta, and also I quit my school. So I left after 12th class, which is not normal. At least it was not normal at this time, because in Germany they have 13 classes and not just 12. So, I quit because for me, I'm most sure that I had the right path when I was still in school, because I felt I wasn't really developing anymore, because they had so much stuff which was not really actually about real life. And I already was retouching a lot of stuff. And at this time, my big dream was still makeup. So being a makeup artist and being creative, that was my main dream. And I found out that actually to do this, I had to move out. And at the same time, I already met my boyfriend. So we decided that we will move out both together. And move from really, really tiny village in Germany to Düsseldorf. And Düsseldorf, maybe some of you know it, it's a big city with a lot of fashion and design. So it's a very, very busy city. And in this time, I started my career as a makeup artist. And at the same time, I was still struggling a bit because I was very young. I was just 18 when I left school and moved out of my parents' home. So I was still a bit afraid if I chose the right path, because if everyone else is talking around you like, oh, you're doing the wrong thing. Are you sure you just want to quit school? And still I did it. You're not really sure if you're still doing the right path, but it felt right for me at this time. So I was not sure if it's really a good idea. So I actually started an apprenticeship in a graphic design agency. And in this time, I really came more and more into retouching photos. So I started retouching my makeup I did of the photo shoots. Not everyone liked it, especially the photographers, because I was starting to get better than them, which they obviously didn't like because they thought they are the pros and I could really understand them. So I was diving more and more in this direction of being a retoucher. It was basically I did both kind of. I started retouching and makeup. And at the same time, I decided I had to quit the apprenticeship I started. So basically I was for my parents and everyone around me except my boyfriend, I was failing completely. I quit school, I quit the apprenticeship, and then I went into being self-employed just like that, because for me, it just felt right. And I had at least one person who understand me. At this time, it was my boyfriend. So I became really good at being a makeup artist and being self-employed as a makeup artist. But then we decided that we want to immigrate to Malta. So I had to just start over all again. And it was not really easy for me because here in Malta, the mindset and also the look they like on people is so different. And I found out that actually I couldn't make it as a makeup artist here in Malta. And at this time, I was really struggling about what I should do, because I already built a successful business in Germany as a makeup artist. And then suddenly I found out I couldn't do the same thing anymore. And that was like a turning point again for me, because I had to start fresh. But this time it was much easier for me, because I knew I could just start from scratch again, as I just did before. And when I was in Germany, I had a really hard time actually starting my own business, because at this point I was like, I had a really, really bad feeling, and I really didn't went out the house anymore while I was in the apprenticeship. I had to change something, and I went into the self-employing thing just like that, because I didn't know what else to do. But when I was then in Malta and had to start from scratch again, I already knew what I had to do. I already knew some business tricks, kind of how I could grow my business faster. So I started being a retoucher and started working from home. I started working with very big brands like Mercedes and also big fashion magazines. And I started coaching others, because so many people were asking me what I was doing and how I did it. And I really, really enjoyed coaching others, helping them. And so many people I coached are actually professional photographers now. So I help to grow their own business. And I'm really, really proud of that. And I'm really happy for them that they can also do what they were dreaming of doing. But at some point last year, there was a turnaround time for me, because I noticed the industry is really, really superficial, and I was not actually sure if it was still something I would like to do, because it was superficial and I was just helping others, making the images look nicer. And I was feeling it was not enough for me. So I wasn't growing anymore, and I wanted to change something. And then I thought, there are so many other people who think they are failing in life, or they think their business is not what they would love to do or what they would love to have. So why shouldn't I help others to be more themselves and grow their own business, or at least change their mindset? And this is something I really enjoy doing now, combined with the online service my boyfriend and me developed, because as a coach, I also had online trainings, of course, and there's not so much stuff on the market where you can actually put it online. Maybe some of the audience here now knows Kajabi or Teachable, these online platforms. However, in Germany, there are no such things like this, except one, and this is super complicated. So I was trying and for about 3 or 4 months. And at the end, I decided it's just not worth it to spend so much time. Maybe I just upload it somewhere and people can download it. But it would be much more fun and professional to have a membership online school. And so my boyfriend started developing it for me. And it was so easy and fast to use it. I had my own online school set up in a day, and I was able to launch my course. And we decided that we just offer other coaches to use the same system we developed. And now we have 800 coaches using our service already, only half a year later. And I started my business as a life coach. So right now I'm really, really happy with the stuff I'm doing. And I feel like I have a purpose, and I'm motivated the whole day around. So I wake up just with a feeling that I'm happy to do what I am doing, and that I'm at a point in my life where I finally found my purpose. So it's I'm really excited to get up every morning and doing stuff. But until last year, I didn't have a purpose that much, at least for me, because everyone thought I am successful, but I was not really feeling successful because I was not fulfilled. I'm really happy that now I can help others to also find what they really would love doing and find their own purpose in life.
Got it. I love it. Well, thank you so much for all the detail. I'm what am I going to ask her next? But I want to know, you said you launched your first video course in 2014. Tell us about that a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. So I launched my first course in 2014. It was an English course. I had a business as a retouch, and I did a course for mainly my English audience, because I started building up my English audience much faster than the German one because it's a bigger market. And at this time, people were asking me if I could do a course because they just wanted to know what I was doing. And I decided it's a great idea because I can help much more people with a course than actually doing only one-to-one coaching. And also, which was a great thing, because at the same time, I was retouching so many images. So I had like nearly no free time left. And then I found out if I do an online course, I can actually sell it like over and over again. I just need to learn how to market my course and to sell it. And I really built a really, really stable income with it. So I created at least 1,000 or 2,000 euros a month just by selling the course. And when I was starting, well, before I did the course, I didn't know what impact it would have because I had no clue about online business except that I was retouching from home. That's it. And then I dived more and more into it and I learned how to market it. I learned all about email marketing, email funnels, and all this kind of stuff. And I think that's something really important if someone wants to start an online business, not just offering a service to other person, but also like having their own product. Because just imagine you can't work because you are ill. Or me, for example, 2 years ago, I broke my arm. So I wasn't able to do anything with retouching, but I had my course. So I at least had a stable income. I was able to pay my bills. I was still able to do holidays just because I had my own digital product and was able to sell many of my video courses.
I love it. And it sounds like your journey was very similar to mine. In 2014 is when I launched my first digital product as well. And I knew nothing about online business. I knew nothing about email lists, knew nothing about marketing. This was just over 3 years ago, November of 2014 at the time of this recording. Not much time has passed, but I knew how to proofread at home. And people were asking me how to do what I was doing. And so I decided to create my first digital product and put it out there. And then I kind of learned as I went along. And some people would ask me, well, why do you want to give away all your secrets? Because you can help more people by being generous and solving more people's problems. And then in turn, by solving more people's problems, you solve your own problems. And so I created proofreadanywhere.com very similarly to the way you created your first video course by just putting it out there. And I think that the scarcity mindset kind of grips people a lot of times where they think, oh my gosh, like I have to keep all the clients for myself. I think there's a limited number of clients out there for retouching or proofreading or whatever it is. And so they don't want to help other people get started doing the same thing they're doing because they feel like they're just going to be giving all their clients away, which is not the case at all. There are so many people that need retouching in the world, so many people need proofreading, so many people with problems. And I always tell the Work at Home Heroes audience that are worried about the demand of the opportunities out there. And I say, as long as there are people with problems on earth, there will be problems for you to solve, and there will be a way to get paid by solving those problems. And so what I love about your story, Lisa, is that you learned stuff and you weren't afraid to learn stuff. Because a lot of people, we always talk about mistakes that newbies make because a lot of newbies listen to Work at Home Heroes. So if you're listening to this right now and you're a newbie, listen to what Lisa and I are saying. You got to learn stuff. You got to learn how to do things, and you can learn to do things to help more people. So you've had quite the journey, Lisa, starting so young and not finishing school. And some people would use those as reasons to not be able to do things, but you just went out and did it. And I just love that. So my question for you is not about you, but about other people in your life. So when you were making all these crazy transitions, quitting things that you didn't like, and just searching relentlessly for the things that you wanted to do, the things that really lit you up, did you have to deal with any unsolicited feedback from friends or family? And how did you navigate that?
Well, yeah, definitely. I had to. Most of the bad feedback I got was with my parents. Because with my friends, I moved out. So I was like at least 2 hours drive away from my friends and my family. So my friends really couldn't reach me that much. They never said something against what I was doing, but they also didn't understand what I was doing. So they were always a bit, are you sure you really want to do that? You know, you could just start a job somewhere. And my parents, they didn't understand anything at all what I was doing until they realized that what I was doing was actually working, and that I'm able to still go on holidays, and that I'm able to still live in Malta without asking them for money or something. But yeah, this time I was really not in a good situation with my parents, and I didn't want to fight with them. So what I did, I just quit the contact. It was not easy for me, but I felt like it was the only thing helping, because if I would always listen to them and trying to do what they tell me, even though I knew it wasn't right for me, then I probably would have ended with a job somewhere and being super unhappy with my life. And I think that's what really important thing for people out there. If they are not happy with what they do, they should start listening more inner feelings say, not what their mind says, but what their heart says. And also, I think no one is able to live your life, but you should choose to live your own life, because everyone has their own feelings, their own thinking, and their own abilities. And I think there's a purpose or something people really like doing and actually also can help people with for everyone. And it doesn't matter how old you are, because I was really young when I started my own thing, but also I know people who are really, really old in their 70s, and suddenly they start their own online business. Because for us, when we work on our project with other coaches and we help them creating the online school, I get to know many people. And actually, really, there's a guy who is starting with 70 years old, and he's trying to teach others how to use their mobile phone. Like old people, really, how to use a mobile phone. And I think it's great. That's, I think, a big proof that you are never too young or too old. You just really try to shut off all negative thoughts and negative people in your life. And with family, it's not easy, but if you just like shut them off, like at least if you move away or if you just have less contact with them, I think it will work. And at the end, it will turn out that they approve what you are doing, and then you can start having more contact with them again.
Yeah, I think that's good advice. And it's not necessarily that you have to cut them off completely, like you said. It's like changing your diet, right? Say you want to lose some weight, and around this time of year, we're recording this in February, so a lot of people are trying to lose some weight. And a lot of times the big mistake people make is that they're trying to cut out stuff all the time, just like limit and restrict. But the reality is, if you want to make things better, just put more good stuff in. And so you don't have to necessarily cut out the negative voices in your life. Just put more positive voices in your life, and it'll gradually, in your mind at least, if not in your physical environment, in your mind, it will crowd out those negative voices. Those positive voices will overcome them, and they'll keep you on track. I tend to, when I hear negativity in my life, people are like, oh, you're never going to make it. That's what I heard in my first year. You're never going to make it. You're just a fly-by-night scam. Like all kinds of mean things people said to me when I was just getting started. And I used that as fuel to my fire. I said, you know what? Watch me. And here I am more than 3 years later. And many lives have changed because of the things that I've stepped out and created. And I'm excited to see where things go, both for you. And so that's actually my next question is, what is next for you? You've got Coachy, which we didn't mention the name of it, but Coachy, guys, if you're listening right now, you're wondering about the software that Lisa and her boyfriend created. It's called Coachy, and it's for Germans. And what is really, really cool is that she has recognized the need in the German-speaking market. And so it's like a blue ocean, right? There's not a ton of sharks in there swimming around creating things specifically for that niche market. She has niched down to coaches in Germany. I mean, that's a really small niche, but she is crushing it. More than 800 coaches are using her site. And I just went to her website, coachy.net. And it is a beautiful website. And hey, I speak German, so I was reading it and I was like, I would totally want to use this. And so really, really cool stuff. Lisa, let's talk about, do you have measures in place right now to make sure that your business is always growing? What is next for you?
Yeah, first of all, thanks for the compliments. And by the way, if you would want to use it, you could even, because we also have it in English, just that for now we don't offer it. Because, yeah, our focus is right now really on the German market, and it's a really big market. So I think no one has to be afraid that the market is like too small or that there are too many around, because there's always something for someone. Our plans for now are we are going to start our first events from this year. So we will host like a kind of boot camp in May. We also are planning to do like more online and also offline events, not only webinars, but actually really stuff where we teach people about online business and also about mindset. And what's really important to me, if it comes to this, is that it's an authentic thing. So it's not about selling them some strange secrets like how to make money in 30 days or something. but something about real tactics and real strategies. So nothing like there's other stuff which is going on in Germany, because actually I'm sure it happens everywhere, but there are people in Germany saying like, oh, I will show you how to make $50,000 in a month or something strange like that. Of course, it's not going to happen, at least not at the beginning. So yeah, for me, something authentic and real is important when it comes to our future plans. Yeah, so it's events, and also what we are planning to do is like more cooperations with other businesses. Like, for example, we started a cooperation with an email marketing provider in Germany. It's all about collaboration and events, definitely. So more about helping others than actually keeping everything for ourselves.
I love it. And that you hit on a very important point, something that I'm like a broken record about in the Work at Home Heroes community, both in the Facebook group and on this podcast. It is focusing outward. Flip the switch. Stop thinking about yourself and start thinking about how you can help other people solve their problems. And that's exactly what you've done, Lisa. So final question is something that I want to make sure I ask all of our guests on the show. And that is, there's people at home right now that are thinking, oh my gosh, Lisa, you quit school, you immigrated to Malta. That's great. You're probably just like a special species of human or superhuman or whatever. But no way could I ever do anything like that. There's no way I could start an online business. There's no way I could XYZ, fill in the blank. What advice would you give to someone who is listening to this right now and they're just shaking in their boots, afraid to get started? What would you say to that person or those people?
I would say that you are more ready than you think you actually are, because once you start doing and not just thinking, then you will notice how much progress you can do in just a really, really short time. And don't compare yourselves to others who are already successful. Use them more like an inspiration. And don't be afraid to ask them about advice, because it won't hurt you to write an email to them and ask them. And also always think about what would happen or how would you feel in let's say 10 years if you wouldn't have tried. So what actually really, really bad can happen if you wouldn't just give it a try? I don't think there's something really bad which can happen if you just start doing. And once you notice that, you will be like super enthusiastic and you will just grow more and more. So yeah, there's really nothing you can lose except that you might be unhappy in future. So if you don't want to be unhappy in future, just keep going and start doing what you love. And your heart, I think, will show you the right direction.
I love it. I love it. And really, the time is going to pass anyway. And so if you're sitting there at home thinking, oh, I don't want to spend so much time trying to start a business, the time is going to pass anyway. So you might as well spend it doing something different to see if you get different results. Because it's another big mistake that newbies to working at home make is they think that it's going to be easy or that it should be fast. And so a lot of times they think about the time and they're like, oh, I'm not going to get started. Or they think that they're going to have all the confidence in the world before they get started. And the reality is you've got to have action before you have traction. And so, Lisa, I want to say thank you again so much for being on the show. If you guys want to get in touch with Lisa, you can actually find her at coachy.net. She's also within the Work at Home Heroes Facebook group, so you can head on over to the group and connect with her. Thank you so much for your time today, Lisa.
Thank you very much as well. I really enjoyed the interview, and I hope that now there are much more people out there who are going to do their own stuff and rock their own business.
Thanks again for listening, guys. I'd like to invite you to be a part of our Facebook community if you're not a member already. That group is called Work at Home Heroes. There's going to be a link in the show notes to find the group. We'll open up a discussion about this episode, so I hope to see you in there. Until next time.
Thanks for listening to the Work at Home Heroes podcast with Caitlin Pyle. Be sure to listen to previous episodes at caitlinpyle.co/podcast. While you're there, read the show notes and check out all the great links and resources mentioned in this episode and more. You can also subscribe to the Work at Home Heroes podcast so you'll automatically be notified when our next episode is available. Remember, as Caitlin says, mo skills means mo money.